Hi, Todd Dunn here on September 25th, 2019 at about 4:30 p.m. I'm aboard my 1936 wooden powerboat Tortuga. I'm down below in the lower cabin right now because I am going to winterize the water system. Why am I doing that? Well, the boat is coming out of the water tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. So I need to get this done. So, what's involved in winterizing the water system? The first step is to empty the water tank, and I'm going to do that simply by turning the tap on in the sink and in the head and letting the water go over the side. Once the tank is empty, I will then drain the water heater, which holds an additional 6 gallons of water. While the water heater is draining, I'm going to disconnect the inlet and the outlet hoses and tie them together so that the water heater is no longer in the water system plumbing. And the reason for that is once the water heater is drained out, I don't need to do anything else to it. It'll be basically empty. Any water that's left in there won't matter if it freezes because there won't be enough to make any difference. And then we'll get on with the actual winterization of the plumbing. So let's get started. As I said, the first step is pretty simple. I'm just going to turn the tap on here, and I'm going to go forward and turn the tap on in the head sink and let the water run out. Yesterday, I pumped about 10 gallons of water into the holding tank, and my water tank here holds 26 gallons. My pump should output about 2.5 gallons a minute, so I figure I probably need about 5 or 6 minutes if the tank was full yesterday when I started, and I don't think it was. But my wife is the primary user of water here. Now, I don't know how much she used. So we'll let it go here for a little while and see how it's going. Actually, I think I'm going to take the strainer off because then it'll let the water run out a little faster. The strainer is a little dirty. I'm going to have to clean it anyway. Well, there we go. While this water's running out, I'll back flush the strainer. Yeah. Looks like I should probably put that in some vinegar for a while. So this is pretty straightforward. Just let the water run out. I don't think you need to wash that. Okay, the water is just about run out. If you listen, you can hear air bubbles coming into the water heater, and the flow has dropped off a lot. We're starting to get some gaps as we get the last little bit of water out of the tank. So I'll let this run for another 30 seconds or so, and the water tank will be empty. That's pretty much it. So we'll shut this down and take the water heater out of the system. Okay, this is the water heater. It's just a 6-gallon water heater. So I'm going to start by opening the vent on it to let any water above the vent drain out. Then we'll loosen up the hose clamps here. There we go. And slide them down a little. And I always just tighten them up on the hose to keep them from sliding all the way down and becoming kind of a pain to get a hold of. So that's good, that won't go anywhere. And I'll take this other one off. The trickiest part of this is usually getting the hoses off the barbs. They've been on there since I commissioned the water system this spring, and they get pretty hot when the boat's running. I have to try and pull these guys off. Sometimes I just cut them off if they don't want to pull off easily, which we'll see what happens here. Get them off with that. There we go, there's one. We'll let that water run out. We'll also open the other drain here. probably about 5 gallons of water in there. There we go. So at this point, I'm going to put a connecting piece in between the two hoses. It's always a little tricky because for some reason these hose barbs, these nylon hose barbs, are bigger than the brass ones. So I'll just snug this up. It's not going to hold any appreciable pressure, so I don't have to get it real tight. But we'll get it on there. Okay, this is connected here, so we'll just let it drain down while we get on to the final step, which is the actual winterization. Should point out, this is the inlet hose for the water heater. The other side over here is the outlet, so by connecting them together, I'll still have water going to my hot water faucet, but I won't put any water in here. Okay, the next step is to access the water pump, which is under here. My water tank is under the forward part of this berth, and the water pump is under the aft part, down here. And I'll just show it to you, and then I'll do the plumbing that I have to do. Okay, there's the water pump down there. It's right next to the tank. So what I'm going to do is simply disconnect the inlet to the water pump from the hose that goes to the tank and put another hose on that I can put into a jug of non-toxic propylene glycol antifreeze. Okay, here we go. I've got a couple jugs of antifreeze. I don't think I'll need 2 gallons, but it doesn't hurt to open one. This hose is connected to the water pump, so I'm just going to stick it into this jug of antifreeze so it's right down at the bottom. Now we'll start the winterization. What's going to happen is the water pump, this hose goes to the inlet side of the water pump. So what's going to happen is the hose is going to pull antifreeze out of here, run it through the plumbing hoses to the fixtures. So what I'll do is turn the water pump on and open cold fixture in the galley. Once I get pink antifreeze coming out there, I'll switch over to the hot fixture in the galley. And once I get pink antifreeze coming out there, we'll shut down and move up forward. Okay, so let's get going and winterize the galley water system. So what I've got the cold water faucet open all the way. We'll just turn the pump on, and we're going to pump pink antifreeze through. And there we go. Got it. Now we'll switch over to the hot side. Pump some more pink antifreeze through. Flushed out what was in the cold side. And there we go. I'll shut that so I can pressurize the faucet in the head. Okay, here we go. We'll run the head. This is going to take a little longer because the pipe is longer. There we go. And we're getting pink antifreeze. We haven't even used the full gallon. So I'll just go back and shut the pump off. Okay, this is how much we use. About 7/8 of a gallon, 3.5 quarts basically. So winterizing the water system here cost me about $4. And as you can see, it did not take very long. So the next step is just to run the water pump and blow out as much liquid in the lines as I can, just by letting the pump draw in air and pump air through the lines. Here we are up forward. Pump is drawing in air. And as you can see, I've pretty much pumped most of the liquid out. It won't take long. And I'll shut this one in just a second. And we'll go aft. And do the same for the galley faucet. And we just let it run until it starts spitting air. And the reason to do this is just to get a little less of the antifreeze in the lines so that I don't have to flush out as much in the spring. Now some of it will probably dry out, but I find that 10 gallons or so of water run through the system is enough to get all the antifreeze out of the system. So there we go, we're pretty much done. And now the pump is shut off and the water system is winterized. Okay, that's all there is to winterizing the water system. Basically, drain the water tank, drain the water heater, take the water heater out of the plumbing system by disconnecting the inlet and outlet hoses and tying them together, and then running non-toxic antifreeze through all the fixtures, and finally at the end blowing as much as we can out easily just by running the pump dry. And the kind of pump I have, it doesn't hurt it to run dry. So that is it. Now I want to point out I do not put anything in the water tank or the water heater. They are both pretty nearly empty now. There may be a little water in there that will freeze over the winter, but I have a bladder tank, and if it gets a little bit of ice in it, it won't hurt it, and a little bit of ice in the bottom of the water heater won't hurt it either. If I put antifreeze in either the water tank or the water heater, it just takes forever to flush it all out in the spring. Okay, that's it. That's how I winterize my water system. A little bit more involved than winterizing the head, but not much. Takes about the same amount of time. The longest part is draining the water out of the water tank. So, if you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the notification bell to see my next exciting boating or Mount Desert Island, Maine related video. Thanks for watching.